Afternoon peeps, welcome back to the Kendall Show. My name's Emma and I am the Lady Golf Coach. Okay, so today we are going to talk about topping the shot. So what I mean by that is the bottom of your club is actually hitting the top of the ball. It doesn't go up in the air, it sounds a bit gross, tends to go a bit lower, bobbles along, looks amazing off the first tee. Mates might mock you a little bit. They also might give you some really dodgy information, which I hear quite a lot. So we're going to talk about the myths of that and give you some potential setup changes or setup things that you need to think of this winter. Might not always be your swing, it might be something in your setup that causes these. So we're going to go through them today. So hopefully in the next 10 minutes you might find something that is quite basic but can change your golf game massively. Let me know what you think, and if you're a topper, hopefully by the end of this you might not be. Before we start the video, I've got one of our lovely golfers called Jack. He's part of Journey to Scratch, definitely go follow them. I'm going to ask him if he's ever topped a ball and what causes it, and we'll see what he says. So, this is Jack.
Hey. Hello.
We're going to do some videos in the future, so get ready. So I'm going to ask Jack what I'm going to ask a few people. Jack, have you ever topped a ball?
Should we say how many balls have I topped?
Okay, so in the last month?
Yeah, loads.
Okay.
Loads.
In your head, what does a top feel like you're doing?
I think the feeling I had where I was trying to make changes was I was sort of shifting my weight but in the wrong way, so rather than turning I was really coming over,
okay,
and then sort of just hitting the bottom of the club.
Yeah.
That's sort of how it felt, and it wasn't even a case of a groove too low, it was literally the top of the club. Bottom of the club is hitting the top of the ball. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what have you done? So you said you played yesterday. What did you feel like you did differently?
So all I was trying to do was I created my own fault by trying to get my club more in here to turn. I was dragging with my trail arm, sorry should I say, which was leaving the club face open, so regardless of where I got to, that was hitting, so it was either becoming a really bad shank, okay, or a super top. Yeah. So then one little change was simply just there and using this side, which is my only feel, but dragging that was then making me turn more, club closed.
And better?
Massively. Okay. So I went out and swung 4 over through 11, which for me is really good. Okay. So yeah, a lot better.
And do you tend to top it with any other particular club, or are you just...
No, so only when I get more so down to wedges. Okay. I think so, or at this time of year a hybrid can sometimes be a little bit toppy.
Change. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. And we can talk about stuff like that when out on course, which we are going to do in the future.
Look forward to it.
Thanks, Jack.
See you soon.
Yeah, it's just really quite interesting when you hear people's idea of what a top is and how they've done it. I think sometimes we get them really confused with what's going on, and actually sometimes less is more, which we're going to talk about today. So if you feel that you have to add loads more to the mix, we're probably going the other way, and we need to actually take away some of this stuff in your head, which we're going to do today. So like I was saying, a top is when you've hit pretty much there and it goes along the ground, bubbles, looks gross, versus us hitting it at the middle, up in the air, looks delicious, the shot we want. So yeah, top is when we do that. So we've talked about topping the ball. A lot of people go, like we just saw with Jack, they go like full on technical, they go full on, oh, it's got to be a movement in the swing. I want to show you like 3 different things that potentially could be in your setup. So it's nothing to do with the swing mechanics, it's how you actually set up when you start that I want you to look at over winter, because that's the things that we get really lazy with, that's the things that slip. So how you grip the club, how you stand to the ball, and where your ball is in between your feet. That's the 3 things I want you to look at, which we are going to do now. So first of all is grip, how we grip the club. Don't mind if it's this, I don't mind if it's an overlap, interlock, baseball, it's whether it's a very strong grip or very weak grip that we're going to talk about now. I was to set up to this ball with a very weak grip. A weak grip is my lead or top hand. I look down and I don't see any knuckles. All I see is a lot of fingers. Thumb is usually down the middle or slightly to the left for right-handers, and your bottom hand kind of covers up that thumb, and you normally see maybe no thumb and maybe 1 or 2 knuckles on the top hand. So this is what would you class as a very weak grip. Now, the problem with a weak grip is it completely changes the structure of your arms and your body. So my right shoulder tends to be a little bit over the top, kind of my body's a bit skew with. And the problem with this grip, when I've got a weak grip, my arms are very restricted what they do. So from this position, a very weak grip, the only thing I can do is really take my arms up and bend them. And that by doing this, my swing becomes very steep, becomes very armsy. So what goes up must come down. So I've got 2 options. I either chunk the ground and the ball goes, or I then compensate and I strike it either perfectly or potentially top it as well. So by a weak grip causes this, causes this, causes this. So just in your grip alone can cause those 3, 4, 5, 6 different things, and we instantly think it's technical, but sometimes it is just your setup that's caused it. So we've got your weak grip, we've got your strong grip, which is your completely other way. So when you look down, you see maybe 4 knuckles on your top hand, no knuckles on your bottom hand. Again, this can go the other way. We can just flip with your arms, we can flip with your wrists, we can do a lot of wobbling around. But from a very strong grip, your body has to react very differently to try and straighten it out. So again, it's all reactions from something. Like that doesn't look that comfortable, but you have to stand like that if you're gripping the club very strong. So just be aware of how you're holding it. Are massive, massive things in golf that we have to think about when we're practicing. Winter's the perfect time to do it because we're not playing in lots of competitions. So give it a go. Check your hands. I'd like to say, are they neutral? So can you see a bit of your top hand, a bit of your bottom hand? If not, is it too weak or too strong? And then we can go from there. My actual favourite thing talking about to anyone is your posture. So what I mean by your posture is what we do at address. So do you bend from your hips? Do you bend from your knees? Do you bend from your shoulders? This plays a massive part in the way we move with our golf ball. Too upright. So if we were to stand too upright, you kind of end up, again, not being able to turn your body as much, or we end up swinging it very flat. So we can go one of 2 massive ways. If we're too upright, we can literally feel like we swing like this, or swing around your body. Either way, that's not a very kind of powerful golf swing that we've got. It's a very armsy golf swing. It's a very flippy golf swing. Can strike the ball anywhere from back here to all the way to the top of the ball, or even miss it from that position. That's just from your setup being too upright or too one of those. That's my favourite as well. So when you kind of like sat down on a chair and your body can't move. So from here, it looks like a really lovely golf swing, but it's the most inefficient way of swinging a golf club, because from here, all we're doing is just taking the arms up, taking the arms down. So from far away, it looked mint, but from close range, it's not that efficient and it's not that powerful. Again, can create a top all day long if your body's not in the right place. So we've got 2 upright and 2 bent over there, both creating the same movements that the body is not turning the way we want to, which causes misstrikes just from how you're stood. Just from how you're stood. That's what I need you to remember. How you're stood is like the biggest thing you need to be working on over winter. And you have mirrors, you have kind of cameras that you can look at. Don't underestimate how you're stood. Can play a massive part in your golf swing and setup. Last but not least, we talked about your grip, we've talked about your stance, and we're going to talk about your ball position here. So I've got a 9-iron in my hand at the moment. For me, say a 9-iron is fairly central. If I move the ball forward in my setup and I play the shot, for me to strike that ball, I have to do a lot of movement to get to it, for me to strike it. So, and if I don't quite get all the way through it, I'm going to either make contact with the ground here or hit the ball on the way up. You guessed it, you've topped it. Vice versa, if the ball is back here, I can then take the club up, but from here, for me to get the ball airborne, I have to get back here, I have to scoop it, I have to do lots of wonderful things. Just the inconsistency of strike is massive as we go, and the more kind of variables we add to it, we're talking like there potentially is hundreds and hundreds before we talk about technical swings. So what I'm trying to make sure you realise, and don't take it for granted, that how you hold it, how you stand to it, your ball position, if we can get those variables less and less and less, and that they're repeatable, your swing technique over time can then get more repeatable as well. Okay, so what I'm really saying is this winter, don't get lazy with your setup. Don't go bashing balls and thinking, oh, it's all about technical, it's all about up here, it's all about lots. That is important, but if your body's not in the right position, if you're not holding the club properly and your ball is all over the shop, how are you supposed to be moving? How are you supposed to do that repeatable and prevent injury? That's the main thing. So if you're practicing, video it. If you are working on setup, video it from front on and side on. If you're looking at grip, take photos of it. Obviously, if you're with someone, obviously it's quite impossible to take photos and hold a golf club, but you get what I mean. So yeah, set up. Before you watch any more of these videos, go to setup, and then you can watch the next videos on technique. Hope you liked it. If it doesn't make sense, message me. If it does make sense, leave a comment and share it. All the people that need some work over winter, that's what we're trying to do. Enjoy the rest of your evening or day, whatever time of day it is. And the last thing, most important thing is please subscribe, because these videos take forever. And it'd be really appreciated. Thank you. Bye.